if you would like to come to the end of your meditation for this evening, you can gradually open your eyes again. If you feel at all uncomfortable, then slowly try changing to a more comfortable position before gradually finishing your practice. So I hope that meditation went well for everyone. Peace and quiet, sheltered from the raindrops. Normally I do a quick show of hands to see how you've got on with the meditation. So if I ask you 3 questions, who as a result of their meditation felt more relaxed and at ease as a result of their practice? Ooh, a lot of people, yay. Second question, who as a result of their practice felt lighter and more spacious inside? Oh, still pretty good. Wow, sounds like you've been practicing. And last question, who felt more of a sense of illumination on the inside, like brightness? More visual. Wow, doing well. You see, it's worth the difficult journey through all the rain. Yeah, doing very well. So we come to a wintry sort of moon today, not very obvious from all the cloud cover, but maybe start with a little ancient poem for you about the January full moon. The sunset embers smolder low, the moon climbs o'er the hill, the peaks have caught the alpenglow, and the robin's song is still. Actually, we start off 2026 with quite a bright moon, a supermoon. If only we could see it, we would see more of it. This year we have a couple of supermoons, 3 supermoons. This is the last one of the year when the moon apparently is particularly large and bright, and we won't see a supermoon again until November. And because we have a sort of lunar leap year this year, we have 13 full moons instead of 12. So there's a bonus for you. Yes. So yes, apparently the one in June is going to be called a blue moon. So I'll work that one out when we get there. Yeah, but we have an actual extra moon sneaked in there in the middle of the year. In Thai language, they call that 8th lunar moon twice. Yeah, that's it's like a thing in Thailand. Yeah, but the moon we have this time is called the wolf moon, at least in the Farmer's Almanac. And if you are in a slightly more wintry or wild place, maybe you will hear the wolves howling in the nighttime, or howling at the moon. And a lot of people are a little bit scared of this because they heard that maybe the wolves are howling because they are hungry, and maybe they will nab the kids on the way to school, or come and knock on your door, or blow your house down, and that sort of thing. Because wolves generally have quite a bad press in all these fairy tales about always being the baddie in the story. But apparently they are more scared of people than people are scared of them. Around here it's mostly coyotes, I would say. But apparently in California there are about 50 wolves. Yes. Not so many as in the more northern states, but we have 50 gray wolves somewhere, probably big bear somewhere. Yeah, around here I doubt it, but yeah, you never know. We have some weird big animals around here as well. But apart from the wolf moon, some of the other names traditionally for the moon at this time of the year, The full wolf moon is the frost exploding trees moon in the Cree tribe. Cold moon for the Cree. Freeze up moon for the Algonquin. The severe moon, probably for obvious reasons, for the Dakota or the hard moon. Canada goose moon for the Tlingit. The great moon for the Cree. The greetings moon for the Western Abenaki, and apparently this refers to a tradition at this time of the year where everyone would take a little twig or a fragment of wood and bring it together and as a gesture of forgiveness to start off the new year in the First Nations. Spirit moon for the Ojibwe, and the center moon for the Assiniboine. It's the first moon of the year, and sometimes it's the time of the year when we think about making a new start in life in ways that are useful to us. For other people, it can be quite a depressing time of the year because there's not much daylight. So I would like to introduce the topic of the power of hope for a brighter 2026. Because apparently whether you are optimistic or pessimistic about life is not just down to your personality, but it's actually to do with how you frame events in your life. And even though you may be rather a melancholy person, if you can learn to frame your life experiences differently, then there's no need for you to be melancholy the whole time. It's to do with the habits of your mind or ways of pushing back at events in your life. So it's said that actually positive thinking is not just for some people, but it can be for any person, but it's to do with reframing the experiences in your life. And it's said to be a little bit like trying on different glasses. Instead of having the pessimistic glasses on the whole time, you can try wearing a different set of glasses and see how it works out for you. So, for example, if they say work from home, you might think, they made me work from home. So that's like bad feeling, right? But if you just rephrase it slightly, trying on a different set of glasses, you say, oh, I get to work from home. Actually, you only changed one word, but it has a very different feeling to it. So you can try that and see if it makes you feel any better about life. Or another example might be if you have a pipe burst in your garden. That's like generally not a good thing, right? But if you turn it around and try on the optimistic spectacles, positive thinking, you think, wow, well, I'm pretty lucky actually to have a garden, to have a burst pipe in. Because a lot of people don't even have a garden. Yeah, so I'm the lucky one. Or you might think, well, if that's the worst thing I've got to worry about in my life, actually I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. So, even though world events or grand events in the news may seem quite overwhelming sometimes, not things that we have control over, but if we look for things in our life which we do have some control over, and especially if you're a meditator, that could include your states of mind, because even though events may treat us in a certain way, how we respond to it is still, in theory, under our own control, then we can look for things we do have control over. So it's like sometimes focusing in on the things that we do have some control over. And there is one life coach who has a particular specialism in getting people to be happier, a lady called Sophie Cliff. She says if we can refocus, especially writing down things that we have achieved, then we can have a more positive mindset. Because often we have quite a lot of good things going in our life, but we fail to notice them or note it down. But even keeping very small, brief notes about things that have gone well for us can actually make life feel a whole lot better in many cases. When it comes to things like New Year resolution, then this is quite a good exercise for us to try to turn things around from negative to more positive ones. Credit yourself with things that you have actually done. Yeah, because a year tends to turn pretty quickly. But if you think about this time last year, where were you at? You probably will see quite a lot of things which you have managed to achieve during the year, even though it may seem to have gone by quite quickly. Yeah. Or you can reframe things, see the same things through a more positive or grateful lens. Other ways which you can use to be more aware of your own states and to find more joy generally is to avoid consuming media that is depressing or doom scrolling, where you find you can just have got more and more doom, and it's like it's never ending. You never come to the bottom of the screen. It's like yet worse things to look at, and you can't look away. Actually, it's quite bad for your general demeanor. So sometimes being able to break and maybe choose more positive things to consume, even from a media point of view, can be quite an effective way to boost your state of mind. Regular practice of gratitude means basically looking for things you are grateful for in your own life. It may sound a little bit corny, but actually it is very effective to sort of break out of a sense of melancholy or darkness in your life, either literally or just as a metaphor for your life more generally. If you ask yourself what it makes you feel good to do and choose to spend some time doing that, do at least one thing a day that brings you some joy. And going back to our joy coach again, she advised, the most joyful people are generally those who are most grateful for what they've got. Yeah. And as for New Year's resolutions, it's said that generally it's good to aspire to something new or better in life. People who are sick shouldn't have a monopoly on getting better. You can be healthy and still get better, right? Yes. And they are like aspirations in life. But for many people, they make wonderful New Year's resolutions, and by about the 3rd or 4th of January, then most of them are out of the window already. But there is some advice on that New Year's resolutions that tend to stick tend to be ones which are well defined. Yes. So you can be smart about your New Year resolutions, where the SMART is actually an acronym for being specific about the things that you would like to achieve, making those things measurable, so tangible, and not only that, but also attainable, not too pie in the sky, relevant to yourself, worthwhile, meaningful to you, and also timely, like within what length of time or how long do you want to spend doing that thing. Yes. For our temple at this time of the year, we have been focusing a lot on doing pilgrimages. This is a time of year in Thailand where it's not too hot and not too cold, so the monks go out on pilgrimage. I noticed actually there's a bunch of monks doing this somewhere over in Carolinas at the moment. Yeah, a couple of them got knocked down by traffic, but yes, they didn't give up. They're still walking for peace as well. So there are plenty of things. If you look for interesting, good news, there are some to be found. Yes. One I like from the BBC is Happy News or something. Yeah, they get together just for happy news. So if you really want to have like less bad news the whole time, you can just have this like happy, cheer me up news, where they have like funny stories about dogs and things like that. Yeah, so you can tune into like more happy news. And also in Japan, the full moon is also a time for remembering loved ones who have passed away. There's what they call Little New Year, or called shogatsu. Floating the candle wraps is only one thing they do, but they have lots of other little celebrations and special gifts which they do to bring in the new year, which is not on the 1st of January, but on the full moon of January as well. But I won't go on too long today, apart from saying if you like the meditation today, I would encourage you to meditate further. Try to make a little bit of time each day to meditate at home, maybe starting with about 20 minutes a day if you can, at a time of day which is convenient for you, or when you don't have too many interruptions, or when you have good energy. Maybe first thing in the morning, maybe last thing at night, especially if you have problems sleeping. And little by little, you will get your mind in the habit of being more positive, being more centered, being more under your control, and you find that 20 minutes allows you to go further and further in your practice. You may have good days or bad days. Even if it's a bad day, try to keep up your 20 minutes nonetheless. And even though it may feel like it's not doing you very much good, but it does count on a deeper level. And you gradually get your mind more in a place where you have some more control over it. If you are confused about the meditation technique, today the Venerable Jackie, he gave a very sort of simplified version, not very structured version, you might say. If you need more structure or you appreciate more structure, there's some of the audio tracks on this MindGem app, which is free of charge to download on your cell phone, or of different lengths. You could follow along until you find the sort of meditation guidance that resonates for you. Also, we have regular classes, not just on full moon, but on every Thursday evening. So we're starting up again with that on the 8th, coming up now between 7 and 8 p.m. just in the building adjacent for those who like weekdays, or on the weekends every Sunday morning. So like tomorrow morning, for example, we sit here. We have about a 40-minute meditation, yes, and some other talk on something to do with meditation practice. We also have a weekend retreat coming up next weekend. So for those who want to further their practice by sitting for 4 sessions per day, Friday night, all day Saturday, then early morning, mid-morning, and afternoon sessions on the Sunday. Anyone is interested to look at that, or the details of it, they are available on the Peace Point website. Yes, and I think there are still some places available if anyone would like to do that. Yes, but it's a good way to take your meditation to the next step if you've been practicing for a while. Yeah, we do some deeper sessions on Buddhism, not the whole time, but like optional for those who are particularly interested in that. The next session will be on February the 8th. Yes, in the afternoon on a Sunday. And we also do some meditation for kids as well, and that again starts next month, February 14th. Kids benefit from meditation generally from the age of about 5 or 6 upwards, but in short doses. Yeah, so like kids probably meditate for 5 minutes, no longer than 10 minutes. Our next full moon for February is February the 1st, and the one after that will be March the 4th. And the next one coincides with what we call Maka Puja Day in the Buddhist calendar. So that's some candle lighting again, which may be interesting for you to join in with. But apart from that, I wish you well for the year ahead, and a year full of peace, love, magic, and joy. Yes. But if there are any questions, comments, or feedback to finish off with, I'd be very pleased to hear from you.
Next, we will continue the Q&A session with Venerable Nicholas, or share any of your experience. For anyone who would like to share, or anyone who has any question, please raise your hand so we can take the microphone to you.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy, yeah.
Or if you feel embarrassed, you can talk to me afterwards. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, he's usually standing outside.
I had a comment.
Ooh.
Ooh, it was a really good meditation. I've been really busy with the holidays, and so this is kind of getting back into it. It just seems like I have some maybe resentments from the holidays, things like that. I'm missing some peace in my life, and I heard Venerable Jackie say about the lantern releasing ceremony. Do you have any suggestions for a ritual for releasing maybe some anything left over from the holidays that we could restore our peace? Is that a good way to say it?
Well, his metaphor was a sky lantern, and what they actually do with those is, I'm not advocating this. It does tend to interfere with air traffic slightly in LA, but what they do is they light it. It's almost like a hot air balloon, which they just let go up into the sky. And they're usually not very interested where it comes down again, but it seems to disappear up into the moon sometimes as well. More commonly in the November, they do a floating of a candle raft, a little bit similar to what the Japanese people were doing there, where you float away something symbolic on the waters, and it's almost like you're letting go of all that maybe negativity with that, or letting go of something which is no longer serving you. But even that little thing with the Native American tradition of bringing a small fragment of wood and letting that be, I don't know, maybe they burn it or something, I don't know, but let it go up in smoke. And it can sometimes, seeing it physically can help you to make the equivalent gesture on a deeper subconscious level. Yeah.
Thank you. I know in the meditation today, Venerable Jackie was saying sometimes you can see something, a space outside of yourself, or lots of times I was trying to see the bright spot inside of me. Today it was water outside with the feather, and I just visualized all that negativity pouring out of me into the water. It was really helpful, really helpful. And then a lotus coming up with turning into the white crystal. I was very creative and visual today. It doesn't normally happen that way, so I'll just share that much. It was like, wow, maybe I've seen too many Christmas lights. So,
but just for your information,
like to add to that?
Just for your information, sometimes we assume our body is like limited, but when it comes to meditation, actually it's like our body has disappeared. So what we consider our body could be much wider than our body, and the space that we are using for our meditation could be much wider than our physical body. So don't feel that you have to be cramped inside your little body, and like the meditation that counts must be inside this space, because it may be much wider or even infinite. It just depends on you and what you feel comfortable with. Yes. And I will say, sometimes you think, oh, outside is wrong, but it may be that that's also included within the space of your body, so it may be correct as well. Yeah. So please try not to worry about small details, just go with what seems to work for you. Yes.
Hi, thank you so much. I've had a kind of a bit of a like spiritual question that's been weighing on me for quite a while. And it overlaps pretty well with this discussion about positive thinking. But you talked about world events, but there's also like this, our relationships and our conversations that happen. There's two types that come to mind. One is like gossip, and the other is venting, which I think can kind of sometimes overlap. One is, I think, somebody's confiding in you and in a cathartic sort of way, need to get feelings out and wanting that kind of energy reflected back to them or those feelings validated. And then the other one is just sharing, just sharing things about other people, but a lot of times people use that kind of gossip to build bonds with the person they're talking to. So I've had some trouble with this because I feel it does affect me negatively, like affects my mentality negatively, but I get criticism from friends and family that I'm too positive. Almost like they don't feel validated, So I've been struggling with that, and I'm curious how you would recommend handling those two situations.
So, yeah, I think what you're talking about is to do with choices of words sometimes, or how far to take a conversation. And you might not think it connects with meditation, but the energy which you lose somehow if you find you're saying things that are maybe impact a person in a way you didn't intend, you feel bad about it afterwards, and that affects your mind too. That's not to say what that person may think of you afterwards, or what you may think of them if they share too much, or you feel that you haven't maybe been sensitive enough to what they want to say or whatever. So there is a sort of balance there, which I can, without going into specifics, what I'd normally say is try to be truthful and say things that are useful, things out of compassion, say things out of the good wishes for a person in the future and that sort of thing. Apart from that, sometimes the sense of balance in what you want to say does come as you attune more to your own mind. And it's like deeper listening in a way. Sometimes they call that, especially in the psychological sort of trait, deep listening. You find yourself listening to a person on a deeper level. And often that can help to guide you to what is appropriate for them, which may not be the same in every situation or for every person. It's like you're listening to them from your heart instead of just from your ears. And if you are connected with that sort of more pure and clearer state of mind, often it helps you to listen on a deeper level in a way that's appropriate. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else has a comment? Wants to share their meditation experience? Yeah, sure. We've got time
to share my experience. I feel like when I start meditating and relax my mind, and I feel like there's a big pressure of energy coming into my body, and without me thinking about like releasing all the negative energy, it kind of like draw out the negative energy. I can feel like a lot of my pain that I felt because of the weather is kind of like releasing into the air. So that's kind of like
that's good, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yes. So I think yes, you've done well, and yes, may you have a lot more of it. Yes.
Thank you. The mic's over here. Yeah.
So earlier, Venerable Jackie was talking about getting comfortable, right? So I love coming to these events, but somehow it's so different when I meditate at home as from here. During the meditation, I felt extremely comfortable, when that feeling when you're about to fall asleep, but you catch yourself. So I was very aware that I was awake, but somehow I had that feeling that I was falling asleep, so I caught myself. But then I had that awareness of maybe a little self-conscious where I didn't want to fall asleep, so I was extremely aware, but my body was just super relaxed. So a little bit about that feeling that you had, I felt like my feet get extremely hot, but I felt like very grounded at the same time. So I don't know if, like that feeling of like almost falling asleep, or, where in my meditation, like, if that's sort of throwing it off, or maybe kind of affecting it. So I don't know, I'm still trying to find maybe that balance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so just as a guideline, often people talk about that ability to catch yourself just as you are falling asleep as being a very good sort of backdoor into a successful meditation. So please don't feel guilty about it, although you may feel like, oh, how other people might see me or something like that. But actually, it's quite a good way to just pulling yourself back from falling completely asleep actually puts you in a very good place in your meditation. So some people even try to do that if they normally find it hard to relax. Because often you notice a lot of the tension which you had before has gone just when you have had a little sort of catnap like that. You find yourself in quite a good place. So actually it's, if you can remember what it felt like to be like that, even if you don't have to like kid yourself if falling asleep, you can sometimes retrace your steps to that same feeling next time around, and it'll put you in a good place. Yeah. So yes, actually that is an ideal sort of balance or happy medium which you would find in your practice. Little like a Goldilocks state. Yeah.
Oh, hi, my name is Rosa. The meditation, my experience, it was kind of like the same, but I usually go to sleep when I do it at home. So what I did today, I did like the chair at the bottom of the end of the chair so that I won't go to sleep. But I had a hard time. I went into like a very deep meditation, and then it was hard for me, and I was aware to come back because I went into this very, very, very relaxed mode. And it's my first time that I was aware for me to come back. It was like I was talking to myself to come back. And it was like a conversation with me. Mm-hmm. And the way that I did it at the beginning is just releasing every person that I had any problems. I was blessing them. And then I went to this deep meditation, and coming back was, so it was very peaceful, and it was different from other meditation. And thank you. Very grateful.
So I think it seemed to work well for you. And my only additional advice would be, if you have more, maybe a less formal setting, like if you're sitting for meditation at home, let's say, if you find you're in a good state, maybe extend the time, okay, so that you come out of the meditation when you feel ready, instead of saying, oh, well, the monk finished, so I have to like stop now. But if you have like an open-ended meditation, or you have the chance for that, you're not in a rush to go on to the next activity, sometimes you can really benefit even more fully of that good state which you found yourself in, if you allow the time to extend to its natural conclusion, instead of like saying, well, that's it for now. Yeah. So spend more time on it, especially if you find you got into a very precious state. Then try to make the most of it if you can, if you have the flexibility of time in your life. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, very good. And also try to remember, what did you do to get in the good state? Because you can also recreate those conditions next time around. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have an issue with hyperventilation sometimes. Not so much tonight. Tonight was great. But at home, sometimes I get into that state where I feel like I just can't breathe when I'm focusing so much on breathing.
So I would suggest that generally it would indicate you're trying to force something in a way that is not quite natural. So if you notice that starts, try to do the let go part more, or relax yourself more, or try to back off slightly. Sometimes people, they try too hard in the meditation, always with good intentions, that if I try hard, I'm going to succeed. But actually what you need to do with meditation is to let it happen. So if you notice it, you know, your heartbeat starts to go up or whatever, or you start to breathe more heavily, it's like you're going into some sort of panic. That would generally say that you're trying too hard at something. So try to back off, take your foot off the gas. And see where that puts you. Sometimes not focusing on something small will help you. You imagine that you've got a huge center of your body, the target which you're shooting at is very large, then it can help you to relax more. If you feel you're much bigger than you naturally would be, then often it helps you to make that more relaxed and more spacious in your practice. And if focusing on an object makes you try too hard, then just be with the space. Sometimes that can be helpful. And don't use your eyesight too much. Because if you feel you're staring, well, I've got to see that. And it's dark in there, I have to really look. Then try just to forget your eyesight, because that can sometimes be a reason that you try too hard. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Venerable Nicholas. As our program is coming to an end, I would like to invite everyone to give Venerable Jackie and Venerable Nicholas here our warmest thanks and pay respect by bowing 3 times. Bow, bow, and bow.